It's less than you're used to, probably. I had to kind of put mine to the side.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's about a foot there. There you go.
Then I'll lean into it.
Do the bottom
I don't think there's anything special here.
and then just
All right.
push this way on talk or to the right.
Guess so. Hey. I think the light's on. I think we're all here. I think we get started. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First item is approval of the minutes from our March 10th meeting. Folks have had a chance to review the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as
All
they
right, we
are.
have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Absent? Okay, thank you. All right, now is time for public comment. This is a time that we open up the floor to the public to come speak on something that isn't on the agenda. If you're here to talk about something on the agenda, wait for that item, but otherwise, just other items. Not seeing anybody. Okay, very good. Announcements, director's report. Shelley.
Thank you. I have a few things. I listed two on the agenda tonight, and one was good news that Pierce Street Park, which had been delayed in construction, will actually go out to bid in September, so that's very good news, coming soon. The Parks and Rec Commission had made a recommendation for naming the park after late Mayor Peggy, and that will go to the City Council on July 5th, so they will hear that recommendation. It's an announcement that Dinner with Albany it's a Dinner with Albany year, and we are now in the process of accepting sponsors for Dinner with Albany. It's run on sponsorships, and tables will go on sale on August 8th, and the actual event is on September 24th. The last one is just a heads up. This is going to be, it's been on a past council agenda and coming up on Monday, discussing the what people call as a soda tax. And I just wanted to give you guys the heads up because you may be interested in watching or paying attention to that meeting. The council will be deciding on some options if they move forward with a soda tax of forming an advisory body, a new one, or using an existing commission to oversee the programming for the money that would come in. And the Parks and Rec Commission has been a suggested advisory body. So just to keep that on your radar for Monday's agenda.
Okay, very good. Anybody else want to share? All right, very good. We'll move on to the first item. Well, let's see. So with the number of people here, I'd like to get a sense, maybe there's all one item. We don't want to make you sit through the whole thing if you don't have to. So is anybody here speaking about the tree, item number 5.1, tree removal at 1410 Solano? Okay, you folks are. What about the Terrace Park tree removal? Those folks? About Aloni Greenway Magnolia? All right, well, that's kind of the order they're in, so we're just going to go that order anyway. Okay, thank you. Very good. All right, so item 5.1, tree removal application for 1410 Solano Avenue. Is there a report?
Yeah. The property owner applied to remove this tree. This started before I was here, so I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure what changed
Okay.
events, but apparently there's a lot of utility conflict. I'm not sure if the owner requests to remove it also because lifting is like there's a lot of utility conflict. There's a PG gas line under the tree. There's high voltage power lines. All the electrical facilities on different street. So they're just off to the side of the tree. The building sewer line comes out on one side of the tree. The water line comes out on the other side of the tree. So it's kind of over and surrounded by. PG&E is concerned about the tree being over the gas line. Still not, one thing I'm not clear with, like, trying to talk to PG&E, they would be removing the trees for issues.
Can you repeat that?
That's Besides that, the tree's sort of overgrown its space. It's bulging out over the curb. It's one of the several remaining eucalyptus on Solano that are kind of have outgrown their space there, so.
All right. I'll open it for the commission if there's any clarifying questions, anything you want more information on or questions you have.
I am a little intrigued by this new form. Is this a new rating system that we have for tree evaluation?
It's just something that I was kind of working with, playing with, just a tool. Yeah, the points are not really that relevant. It's just a tool to show where there's concern.
Okay.
In the tree, just kind of a checklist for me to go through, so.
It's very useful.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I have a question about the last two photographs, which are of the tree trunk itself. I was just wondering if you were trying to point something out.
Yeah,
How about
there's a little bulging of the bark there, and that could just be springtime growth, but the tree also has a lean in that direction. That could be a concern, that the tree might be compressing in the direction of the lean. So that's, again, I mean, it's a mature tree. It's not putting out a lot of growth, but that could still just be a springtime bulge there. But it's just something that I noted that could be of concern.
And if I can just try to get clear on the process, or how this worked out. So is the concern that they want to repair the sidewalk, and in order to do that, they'd have to do something to the tree, but they can't without affecting utilities? Or are the utilities being impinged now and they need to be fixed?
Yes.
You don't know? Okay. This
All the
started before
above.
you were here, yeah, okay.
It's, yeah, the tree's lifting the sidewalk. There's, I think there's one of the vaults there is being lifted. I think it's the PG&E electrical vault. So,
I see.
in order to repair the sidewalk and to have PG&E come out, I believe PG&E, I'm not sure if the owner or PG&E is initiating the request to remove the tree in order to do the repairs, but it could be, the sidewalk could be repaired without the tree removal, but then again, there's damage on the other side. It's hanging over the curb, it's bulging out over the curb, and it's cracked the curb and pushing it a little bit.
So would you be comfortable if we said, so let's say we go ahead and repair the sidewalk and everything kind of works out, would you have any idea, would you be comfortable estimating how long it would be before we need to do it again anyway, or before it became a real problem?
That's hard to say.
Okay. I figured.
You know, it all depends on, the thing is, when a tree is filling the basin that it's in, surrounded by cement, and it's, especially in times of drought, the roots are looking for moisture, so they're going to start growing out in any direction, wherever there might be some moisture. And it's hard to say where that is here.
Okay. Any other questions before we open it for public comment? All right, at this point, we invite the public to come speak on this item regarding the tree removal application of 1410 Solano. Please step up and identify yourself. And
My name is John Shuku. I'm the owner of the property, as mentioned. If you can show me the pictures, I can explain it a little bit. I'm much more familiarized with it. Okay. With the notes, the one that has the notes on it. There you go. Your sewer line coming over here, hitting on this side, getting jolted.
okay.
And that's your big PG&E main power line, which is getting pushed up. And next to that tree on that yellow zone is your gas, huge gas main coming in, which is again getting involved with this. Previously, they cleaned it a little bit up because they didn't want to go through the process. But since we have this lot of rain, this thing is really bulging up.
I see.
And this picture is maybe about 6 or 7 months old, because I contacted the city, they contacted PG&E, then process is slow. And now this is really coming up. That's, you know, people are not comfortable. If you see it yourself, you have to really look at it. And this thing is not stopping. You know, it's just slowly getting moving in it and really pushing things up and damaging here and here. And with this picture, you see way open. It's getting too close to the going under the foundation and all the stuff. And I think, you know, that's why I'm requesting to moving it. So, any question from me? Ari?
And you're the one who submitted the application?
Yes, I'm the one I submitted the application to get it going because it's really getting damaged all over the place.
All right, I think that's probably, thank you.
Good,
If
good. Okay.
we have more questions, we
Sure.
might invite. Does anybody else just speak on this item?
My name is Deepak Singh. I'm the owner of the Kathmandu restaurant.
There's a microphone, if you could, no, right
This one,
there,
okay.
yeah.
My name is Deepak Singh.
Right.
I'm owner of the Kathmandu restaurant, which has been, what, 21 years or 22
Yes,
years?
Yes, yes.
Well, anyway, I'm seeing every single day, you know, the thing is getting worse and worse and worse. The bad thing is that I seen my own eyes, 2 people trip it, fall down, and I went there. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, I'm okay. You know, it's hurting here, it's hurting here. And I keep saying that. And then the next thing, when a wheelchair person came, I couldn't even go.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, John saying that's very true. The thing is a little bit too old, the
Yeah,
picture.
it's picked up.
Right now, if you go by, you see like that. Nighttime, especially people trip there. And it's a kind of a danger for, you know, if something happens serious, it's bad for our city. So we don't want to hear, you know, bad stuff. So that's what I'm here. So it's better to take it out because it's getting old. And also, one of my employees, we have to sweep every day, right? And when we're sweeping, it was raining and, you know, there was a wind, the branches almost hit it, almost 2 times.
Wow.
And then I told them, well, you know, if it's raining time, windy time, don't go. Say it's nasty, it's so bad. The restaurant, you have to have it neat and clean, you know.
All right.
So that's any question, that's all I have.
I think that- All right, thank you very much. I appreciate both of you sharing it. Any other public comment on this item? Please. Please step to the microphone and identify yourself.
Good evening, everybody. This is Anil. I'm coming from regarding to this tree. I'm the owner of the Elegance Bros and Lasses in the 1410A Solano Avenue. And then I'm from Nepal. And then this is a very difficulties for us to operating the businesses. And then another things will be every mornings, I will see, I have a notice, I forget to bring the photographs. Some of them is only the dog pee and poo in there, the trees, and then somebody is not taking to those to the garbages ones. And then mostly I see on near that tree, only in that tree or the other trees, they have the disabled people is very difficult to walk around in theirs. There will be a bus stop in next to the 500 feet, next to the trees, and then the bus will be stopping in there. Sometimes the old people is getting out from the bus, and then sometimes I will help to them to be in the wheelchairs also. So the council member and then the city, all of those, you know that on issues. So I'm just here to notice on that issues. So that will be in your decisions. But I just tell you like that the truth is stories in theirs. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming. Any other comments? All right, we'll close public comment on this item now and come back to the commission. Anybody have thoughts? Seems a little clear to me. If anybody would like to make a motion, I think we'd accept a motion at this point. That's an invitation, by the way.
I would move to accept the application for removal of the tree at 1410 Solano.
Okay,
Second.
okay, we have a motion, and a second. All in favor? Aye, opposed? All right, thank you. All right, so my understanding is that it's 15 days. There's a 15-day period in which it can be appealed. The decision is, but after that, things should move along. I can't promise when it'll happen, but thank you. Your application is approved. Thank you. Okay. Moving on now to item 5.2, the application for the removal of the tree at Terrace Park. We have a report on this item. I have a sinking suspicion we might have some public input on this one. I'm just guessing. Just guessing.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Well, there's a beautiful old live oak in the park, in the sandy playground area, that was actually brought to my attention by one of our tree contractors. He was out there and noticed there's a little spot of decay around the trunk, and he felt that the tree was a hazard or potential hazard. So I went out and took a look at it, and I noticed that there is no new spring growth on the tree, or hardly at all. I mean, live oaks will be putting out a lot of fresh growth this time of year, and there's none on it. There is what's referred to as epicormic growth, which means little sprouts along the trunk of the tree, which is an indication that the tree's in decline. Again, it's a great tree. My concern about it is where it is. You know, it's in a park. There's always children, nannies, parents, whatever there, and it's definitely in decline. How long it has to stand, I can't say for sure, but I feel that we wouldn't want to take that risk of it coming down. It's hard to say what it's really sitting in. I'm sure it's just a sand layer over soil, but there, I don't know if the picture's here, but one of the pictures you can see a little bit of decay. There's a piece of bark missing, and there's some decay, and that indicates that there's some dead root underneath there. So. Yeah, they're not.
All right, clarifying questions?
This is a beautiful tree, and being a parent who goes to a playground, shade is very important. What kind of a tree would you recommend being replaced there?
It depends. I'm trying to get a feel of what a good species here, but one tree I'm trying to push is the bronze loquat tree. It doesn't get as big as that, but it gets it's a medium-sized tree that gets a nice crown spread, and it feels like you're under a nice shade tree when you're there. I mean, it gives some shade. It wouldn't become a tree like that. That tree, maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 years old at least. Maybe older than that.
Did you say loquat tree where there
A bronze
are fruits?
loquat, not the fruiting.
There's no fruit, okay.
Yeah, it's a different, it's a nice tree. It's more decorative, more ornamental than a sturdier tree than the fruiting loquat. So. But that's just one possibility, you know.
And there's a note that you might plant more than one tree?
Well, I think there's room there. I think throughout the park, there are some other trees that are not looking that great also in the park. There's some camphor trees from that picture to the left, I guess the east side of the park, along the fence line there, that may need to come out soon also. And I think there's been a couple kind of looking at the picture behind the tree that were removed at some point. So I think there's room for more trees there. I think it would be good to plant more trees, and maybe live oaks around the edges, or, you know, have to take a closer look at it, but.
So when you say that this tree is at risk of failing, would that be branches dropping unexpectedly? Would that be it slowly tilting? I'm asking you all these questions there's no answer to, I know, but.
It could be limbs, but my concern is the whole tree falling, because there's signs of decay in the root zone.
Okay.
And that would be the major concern. But yeah, as it declines, you know, limbs will weaken, and there's a possibility of limb drop also.
And were we to try to get as much life out of this tree as we could, how long do you think you would feel comfortable saying? Given the fact that you submitted this application.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, it's hard to say, but, I mean, it might be standing another year, but it's in decline, and it's going to be,
It's not gonna get
I just, again, if it were in a different spot, I would maybe hold off on it, but because it's right in that play area, and there's picnic tables under and all that, it's just the potential target zone of the tree makes me more concerned about it, and it'll have to go eventually, soon,
yeah.
if not very soon, so.
Okay. Any other clarifying questions? No? All right, we'll open this for public comment. Please. So please step to the microphone and identify yourself.
Good evening. My name is Michael Arendt, and I live right next door to Terrace Park at 1506 Terrace Street. And every morning when I get up, I look out, and there's the tree, and I see it throughout the day, actually. Let's see, a couple of points. One thing that you did say, that there was no new spring growth. Actually, that's not true. I took a photo today, and that shows you that there is spring growth, and that's even on the, not the best looking side of the tree is the new spring growth, actually. So if you look at the tree from, well, at least from my property, it kind of swings like this. And one side is growing really well, and it's very, very green. The other side is green, but it seems like it's not growing as well. But anyway, but that new spring growth is on that, you know, what I call the lesser side of the tree, even though it does definitely show greenness and growth. The other thing is that the tree, I believe, has suffered under 4 to 5 years of drought. There's been, as far as I can tell, there's been no overt watering of that tree throughout the drought period. And now, since we've had quite a bit of rain, that's appears that the tree's actually coming back to life, as far as I can tell. It looks much, much better, you know, these past days since our you know, the rain, the amount of rain that we had to water it. So, I mean, if it's decided that the tree isn't going to be removed, I think it'd be wonderful if there would be some kind of watering put in or something that assured that it would be getting water, so that it would get the life from water to continue. And it's really unfortunate because there's been a lot of work done on the playfield, the green playfield in the park, if you're familiar with the park. And there's been time where there's just been tons of water running off the park, down the curb, in the front of our house, just down into the sewer system. If that water had been diverted, unfortunately, during the drought period, rather than having it just run uselessly, you know, down the street, down the curb, then that probably would have probably prevented, you know, whatever it is that that you see with the tree. But I believe it has life now that it's getting water. It just needs to continue getting water. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. So just to be clarifying what that noise was, so we're using a 3-minute clock. We have this many people speaking. We want to be sure everybody has a chance, so we're timing to 3 minutes. So just try to keep your comments to 3 minutes. Usually it's plenty. All right, anybody else like to speak? All right. They said they'd join you, didn't they?
My name is Samira Bowie, and me and my friends have played on that tree every single day, and none of us have ever gotten hurt. And we've climbed up that tree like millions of times, and we've never gotten hurt climbing up that tree. And that tree is very special to me and my friends because my dad lives where we're living, and he played on that tree too. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Anybody else like to comment on this item? Please. No more tears, though. I'm not sure I can handle it.
My name is Cal, and so the tree has been up there for 40 or 50 years. So um um so um so that tree was really special, and so every single day me and my brothers went up to that tree and climbed on it. And every single day we've thought of this, and we thought what we were gonna do about this, and we really wanted to keep the tree up. So it's just really, really special to us.
Thank you very much. I know how hard it is to come up here and speak. Appreciate that. Anybody else like to speak on this item? Please.
My name is Scout Eichels, and so every day I see kids playing on that tree, and friends of ours, they have a slack line, and they tie it around the trunk of the tree, and they tie it to the play structure, and they walk on the slack line. And some people like to climb in that tree, and we used to throw the slack line over a branch on the tree, and we'd put our foot in the loop, and we'd swing like it was a zip line. So I thought that tree caused a lot of happiness, and I really don't want it to be cut down.
Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public like to comment on this item? All right, well, I very much appreciate the comments we've heard. Bring it back to the commission. Comments, folks? Discussion?
I'd like to know about the growth. Does it mean anything? Does it mean that it's much more...
You did get your phone back, right?
Much more alive?
What I saw in the picture is what I referred to as the epicormic growth. It's growing out of the trunk. It's not really growing out of the tips of the branches. And that's a sign of stress. That means that the tree is stressed and it's putting out leaves to produce energy, to photosynthesize. And it's similar if you top a tree, it'll sprout out vigorously because it's a stress reaction and it's trying to do what it can do to survive. So, yeah, there is some new growth there, but it's not the kind of growth that indicates a healthy tree. So.
What about the issue of water? Do you think it would be different if it had been watered over the drought, or do you think additional water now would help it?
Well, where it is, I don't know if we want to irrigate the sand play lot, but also a live oak tree doesn't like to have a lot of water. It causes decay in the roots. It encourages sudden oak death. It's a fungus. There's armillaria is a root fungus when you water too much. Okay. It's called oat root rock fungus. So, maybe a good deep watering during the summer once or twice might have done something, but maybe not, because there's some signs of decay in the roots and it might have made it worse. Okay. And a constant watering would make it worse.
I see.
And I would imagine that tree is getting water from whatever moisture is in the soil, what it needs, because there's not much competition around it. So.
Okay, right.
I'm reminded of a similar situation in Arlington Park, and I just actually have pulled it up in my email. It's from on Nextdoor. Someone sent an email out last June about a 100-foot, that was their estimation, live oak tree that fell on a grandmother, her boyfriend, her father, and the in-laws, and fortunately, no one was seriously injured. There was lacerations and a concussion, but it was, again, an oak tree that was gorgeous and didn't have any signs of decay that they could see. Is this...
Well,
It's really making me feel like it's a beautiful tree, but I also don't want people to get hurt.
my feelings too, same thing. I mean, I love live oak trees. They're especially, I mean, this tree being in a park area is good because there's room for it. It's not really a good street tree. And, you know, I don't like to have to say that I think this has to go, but I think it's more for safety, you know. If it were in a playground, if it were just a grassy area that wasn't really used that often, maybe we let it stand a little longer. But yeah, that's my concern. And you're talking about a tree where there were no signs, no obvious issues. This one is showing some signs. It's definitely showing some signs of decline. So
I'm not sure if I gave the context. That was a tree that was up in Arlington Park, so it was another similar situation.
yeah.
I have pictures if you want to see it.
And just trying to exhaust all the options, is there a way to brace it or reinforce it so that it would prevent the catastrophic?
Well, not really, because again, we're talking about concern about the root zone. We're talking about decay in the roots, and
No way to
you
replace it,
can't
yeah.
kind of screw it into the ground or anything like that. So, if it were weak limbs, there's bracing that you can do,
I see.
but not. The concern is total tree failure more than limb failure. So.
And if you were to replace this tree, will it be a tree where children can still climb onto?
We could consider that.
Yes, and
Yeah.
how long will it take
Yeah.
before
Well,
children
that's
can
another
climb?
thing. I mean, we're not going to replace the same kind of tree, not a climbable tree, not right away. It'll be years.
Years,
Yeah.
decades.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And particularly an oak is very slow growing, correct? And so it would take even longer if you...
Yeah, 20 years,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You have something you're going to...
Well, I guess two things. Like one was a question about other large trees at this park. I was just wondering if there are any other large trees that would sort of serve the same purpose, you know,
As climbing
climbing trees, like
we should ask
slackline.
the
I mean,
experts that.
that was my first question.
There are those, there's some camphors, I can't remember exactly what's there, but I'm not sure if they're good climbing trees or not. I think this is right in the play area. There's a kind of a gym, whatever it's called. And right next to it, so there, you know, there's a lot of kids playing around there. They were out there when I went out. They all came and asked me what I was doing, and you know, they were concerned about the tree. And I thought that was great. I think it's great that these guys are concerned too, but I'm concerned about their safety too. So.
I have a question about this. I know our friends from Terrace Park area were traumatized not too long ago because we lost another large tree in the park. And I'm very familiar with the climbing activities and how that impacted them. I have a question about if I realize that the tree is in, you know, bad health, but if we did some sort of halfway where maybe we took off the majority of all of the top of it, but left the climbing trunk part with the larger limbs, at least for a little while longer, if that could be some like in between where it's semi-climbing structure. I don't know if we can even do that with the sand area below it, but have you seen that happen in any other situation like this?
Not really. That's kind of going against arboricultural principles to cut everything off the top of a tree. It's kind of takes away the dignity of that tree. And again, the concern is in the root zone, and even if you leave a trunk with some climbable limbs, the whole thing could possibly come over. I mean, when as the roots decline further, it gets weaker, and especially if there's people climbing on it, it could be a hazard in that sense.
And if you were to cut off the larger branches and maybe have it be only 10, 12 feet tall, would it still be healthy, or would that actually make it unhealthy because it wouldn't have the leaves and the branches?
That would make it unhealthy, yeah.
Okay.
Topping a tree is about the worst thing you can do for a tree. It'll maybe start to sprout out, but again, it'll be a shock, a survival response. It'll put out a lot of leaves, a lot of little branches, but it's just using all of what energy it has to do that in an attempt to survive, so it can photosynthesize, and that wouldn't help the tree at all. That would make it worse.
Hazarding to apply my own experience, but we had a tree that died from root rot. It just died back. And so we cut all the green off and the limbs, and so we ended up with what basically was a climbing structure. And for a number of years.
Yeah.
I don't know if, like you say, I understand the dignity of the tree is gone, but at least it, and I would think that, again, hazarding, but.
I think on private property, that's one thing. On public
understood.
property.
No, I understand. Yeah. I probably shouldn't have told you I did that. All right.
I mean, maybe it can be carved into a bear or something like that, but I don't know.
So I think this is really difficult.
It's a hard one.
And I know I've shared this story before. I'm going to say it again. I live a couple doors down from Solano, and we had down Solano there these big eucalyptus. And about 2 years ago in the middle of the night, one of the healthy-looking eucalyptuses fell across Solano. It came really close to hitting, like it's a huge, beautiful tree. And I don't know if it flattened a car, came really close to hitting a house, like woke everybody in the neighborhood up. We all thought it was an earthquake. I mean, I would hate, it was awful, an awful experience for everybody in the neighborhood. And, this tree being in a park, I think, with the safety considerations and, knowing like the force of a tree like that falling down, I would hate to have this happen to our community.
The thing is, we don't want to fear trees, I mean, it does happen where there's no obvious signs and a tree comes down. But again, with this one, there are signs. That's why I'm concerned. If there weren't, I wouldn't just say, oh, it might fall down, let's cut it down. That would be,
Right. And I understand
not a
that.
good
I mean, I think
approach,
that, and even the comments about can you top it off, but the orientation of the tree, the fact that it's leaning, I think is, makes it look precarious.
I just want to acknowledge the grief of the potential of losing a tree like this. I lived at the south end of Terrace Park for just about 7 years, so this is really emotional for me. I don't live there any longer. And as a community, we have lost together, and I just want to name that.
Thank you.
And I really want to commend particularly the younger folks that came up and spoke, because it takes a lot of bravery, and we really value your input. But could I make a motion, or is there more comment?
I think we can entertain a motion.
I would like to make a motion to approve the application for removal of this tree in Terrace Park.
Second that motion.
All right. With regret, all in favor? Thank you. So we're very sorry, but I think the safety concerns just kind of outweigh the lovely tree, and hopefully it won't be long before we'll have a new tree or more in that location. So there is a 15-day appeal period, after which it'll be scheduled. Or
I'll take a look at
anything you can do.
adding several trees, wherever we can squeeze in a tree there.
Yeah.
And
And
I
thank
would like to
everybody for
offer, I
coming
know we have a, excuse me, I have a cold, we have a Terrace Park Gala coming, if this tree comes out, it's coming out in the playground area, if we can get the kids together, and maybe we can talk about if we can replace with a piece of equipment, a playground piece. I know there's been always a talk of putting in a swing for the bigger kids. Maybe we can put our heads together and try to find something that would be a fun replacement inside the playground. So when we come out, we'll work with you guys, okay?
Thanks, everybody, for coming down tonight. Appreciate it. Okay. Very good. All right, we'll move on to item 5.3, application for removal of the tree at, the Magnolia, the memorial tree on the Greenway for the rework that's going to be done, the new work that's going to be done. Is there a report?
We discussed this tree at our March meeting. This tree is a magnolia tree that was a memorial tree in honor of the son of Mike Kupke. I'm going to try my best. I apologize if that's mispronounced. And it is on the corner of Solano and Masonic. This tree is it is currently in the path of the new sidewalk that will be going in from Solano to Washington in the Albany Greenway. Staff has talked to the daughter of Mike and worked with her on coming to an agreement, and she was happy that we would be willing to replace the tree if it comes out and move the memorial rock with the plaque. And we will work with them on finding another appropriate location for a memorial tree. It's treated as a gift to the city, and then the city once it becomes city property, can make a decision if there's a construction project or something that comes up to remove trees. So it's unfortunate that we would have to do this, but we are going to work definitely with the family to make sure that we find another special spot.
All right, any questions? I don't see any public comment at this time.
Would we replace it with another magnolia?
Of course, yeah. Or whatever the family would like to have.
Okay.
And so the city would pay for the replacement. This was a gift, but now the city would replace
Yes,
it. Okay,
yes.
very good. Well, I'm happy to entertain a motion if one is offered.
I make a motion that we accept the application to remove this tree.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have motion second. All in favor? Aye, opposed? All right, thank you. So, moving right along.
John's going to leave and go back to bed. He's
Very good.
going to recover.
Appreciate you coming
Thank you,
down. That was a
John.
tough one. Couldn't have done that one.
I think we really do have to defer to your expertise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It helps.
All right, Measure WW update.
Okay. Since we last talked about Measure WW, it was a while ago, I think March, we gave a brief update. I just wanted to give you kind of where we are with things. We submitted the applications. They went in on time. We will not hear back from East Bay Regional Park District until June on whether or not, but we get the money, but it's an allotted amount of money, so it should be fine. We think the projects are good and fully qualify for the money. BART approves the 35% plans, and we're fine with it. They had very little comments. So that part was taken care of. We were a little bit in a waiting period with RDG. They had another huge project that inserted in this after we did that big rush to get to the end of March. So they've come back to this. We just met with them yesterday, so I didn't have anything to provide. But basically with them, we're working out the next schedule of when they're going to come back to us and what will be presented to you. And right now, we're looking at the next meeting in June, coming back with 65% plans. I would ask if you could look at your schedules, and I'll send out a note, but if there's a possibility of having a special meeting just for this on June 16th, which is a Thursday.
It's not a Monday, is it?
It's not a Monday. But I will get back to you. It was a bit of a rush for them to be ready by that time. So if we needed to, we might need to call that for just that one item. Then the goal is, because in August it's like our dark period where we have no public meetings, we would like to get get this to 95%, get the bid announcement approved by council at the end of July if possible. So RDG would come back to Parks and Rec Commission with approximately 95% plans in July. And then it would go to council about the same amount, 95%-ish. And I'll also ask for their approval for the bid announcement so that we could work through the final details of that bid announcement and try to get it out to bid either at the end of August, beginning of September, without being delayed by that missing meetings.
Right.
There's been other exciting things that have happened with the Greenway. We had talked about the Arts Committee and their involvement in the art pieces that would be in the Greenway. And they have been working in their meetings of trying to decide what level of funding they'd like to contribute out of their public art projects plan. And they have decided for the San Gabriel art play structure to put in $25,000. We're matching with 15. They're going to match the $7,500 for creek painting project, and then they're going to pay for the art pads for the 3 sculpture loan items. And this item will go to council for approval on June 20th. So it's great. What they'll do is they're going to put out the call for artists and handle that part of the process, and then we'll work together with them on those items. So good news. The Rotary is extremely interested in sponsoring the fitness pod at the senior center area, and they will be doing some fundraising activities for that. Their goal is $20,000 to help offset the cost of the exercise equipment. So we've been working with them.
Did you say the Rotary Club?
Rotary, yeah.
Yeah, Rotary. We're working with the woman, the fitness equipment, the representative from Compen, and it's just pretty exciting. They have a new product line, and they have very few places that have it in place. It's mostly in Europe, and so they're excited to have a location that they can show off. And so I think we're going to get a good deal. We're still trying to solve the surfacing requirements and what is required to be under those. So we're getting a number of opinions for it. But that's pretty exciting. Those are some of the smaller things to decide. The tree removal applications that have gone through for the sidewalk, those trees will probably be removed mid-June-ish. We wanted to wait for this last magnolia and do it all at one time. Sidewalk drawings have been worked on by Greg Jacobs Engineering, and they will be working with RDG in merging those 2 projects into one bid announcement. So RDG will take the lead in pulling in the sidewalk drawings into the Loney Greenway project. So that's good news too. Is there any questions about that part of it? I know there's a lot to talk at you with.
I was curious, so the trees will be removed in mid-June, and the contracts aren't expected to go to bid until September?
Correct, yes.
Is there a reason for us to be treeless for 3 months?
No, we could wait, yeah, if you'd like. We can take them out whenever. It's true, then we don't
It's
have.
out of our hands now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's just,
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I
it could be
thought.
at a different time.
Yeah.
Mhm, for sure.
And my questions actually are some of the other projects, like the Memorial Park work and the other park work. that-
We haven't been together in a while. And so getting ready for the Measure W applications, we put a big push to making sure those bathrooms are going to be renovated really nicely. And so that will come back to you. We'll probably hire an architect to do the plans for that. And those all, just because of timing and with CIP projects and things going on, probably will not really start until the new fiscal year, so July. So we have another meeting, and we're going to seek out someone to help do some sketches for the renovated bathrooms. To make those really feel, I think I mentioned, make them really feel like something has happened to them that makes them nicer.
Something's happened to them. I can tell you that right now.
I hear you. I'd like to have them done before September, before Music in the Park.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That would be appreciated.
Yeah. The other thing we'll go back to look at is that entry at Memorial Park and lighting.
Yeah.
We kind of lean towards doing the lighting, and I will bring back some ideas for you guys to look at. There's some great options with solar powered bollard lights that are in place in Marin. we're thinking of buying a couple as samples to see how they act in Albany. But we also now have some wiring done from our pilot of can we uplight those nice redwoods that didn't provide enough light for safety and walking on the path. But now we have wiring out there, so it's not as costly to put in wired lights if we decide to do that. But that will come to you as well.
Sure.
So more to come.
Yeah. No, it's good to hear. Good to hear what's going on. Very good. Other questions? All right, no action on that item, it's just information. Friends of Albany Parks update.
Oh, gosh, I have to show these pictures. I'm glad that I have some pictures from this past weekend of
That's
Ocean
right.
View. So we had a little snafu. We were replacing fibar, which is that engineered wood fiber that's in playgrounds. They delivered it all to Memorial Park. Like a third of that load was supposed to go to Ocean View. And so I said, well, can you redeliver it? And maybe it'll be our project for our cleanup day to give them something to do. I did not know that, I'm just going to go to, that the mound of stuff was that tall.
Oh, no, and that's halfway through.
Yeah.
It was bigger than that. Yeah, no, that's halfway done at that point.
And those are grown men in the picture.
No, those were giants.
Giants. This group worked through the rain. Todd was there. He worked through the rain. The kids were helping. It's very light material.
These kids would not leave until that thing was gone. Yeah, it was great.
It was 42 cubic yards of fibar that they spread into that playground and made fit, I think, also. So stepping back, we had a Memorial Park Gala, and they had about 12 people that attended the gala for Memorial Park. I think that's an increase from years past, maybe,
I think so.
for the gala.
Yeah.
And then for the cleanup day, they had about 25 people that were there for that. And then Ocean View, I asked Liam, runs the program, and I asked him to give me some notes, and he said that at the gala, topics discussed, that there was a squirrel who stole some food, and one person showed up.
Yeah.
Which sounds about right for Ocean View. That's a tough one.
Well, but then we had a turnout for the cleanup day.
16,
so-
I think, 16 people that came to the cleanup. And Liam's report was, pizzas had arrived, and Liam tried to convince, okay, let's just stop, and let's go have some pizza. And people said, no, we're not stopping. We're not stopping. Through the rain. So a very dedicated group. Thank you guys for your participation. So we do have a few, actually just a couple, or one coming up that is in June, and that's an Albany Hill cleanup. We don't do a gala for that, but we do a hill cleanup. And usually there's also a walking tour, an historical tour of Albany Hills. It's a pretty interesting day, and that will be June 25th at 9 a.m.
The Albany Hill cleanup has been advertised to my Cub Scout troop, so maybe you'll have more people.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That would be great.
They do.
Not my child's Cub
Yeah.
Scout.
They do find projects that aren't near the poison oak for these things.
Okay.
They avoid the poison
Yeah,
oak.
here's the group from Ocean View. And I want to thank Mark Matherly, who's a
look at
Public
that.
Works guy. This is Memorial Park. They do everything. This is getting the coal.
Well, that was our suggestion at the gala was to clear that
clean
out.
those out for the barbecues.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty.
And there's always pizzas. The Community Foundation is very gracious and always bringing over pizzas and feeding everyone. I hate to talk so much, but
Yeah, right. Okay. Any questions? So since there's not an upcoming gala, we don't need to worry about divvying it up. We could all show up at the cleanup days. It's the galas we need to be careful for brownout concerns. So I think that's fine. All right. Future agenda items, anything we'd like to add to the agenda?
yes, I have things for you.
Very good.
Sorry, here I go again. We have a huge topic coming up, and this is a very important topic. I attended a workshop on this because although I've lived through Title IX, I didn't realize that California also had
yes.
a law that went into effect in 2005, 2004, and it's called the Fair Play in Community Sports Act. And it requires equity in local youth athletics, such as sports programs run by Parks and Rec Commission departments. So it's just like Title IX in that it calls for equal athletic opportunities, facilities, publicity, and other things between boys and girls. And so a population that has 50% boys, 50% girls, that's how your field use, lighting use at night, if we ran a league, our recreation department doesn't run leagues per se, but we rent fields to organizations. And this is the main thing that we're gonna need to look at, is correcting where we are right now in a way that we're offering more opportunities to girls in our community. And what we're gonna do at the next meeting is there's a woman who works for, it's a legal aid society, employment law center, and she's received a grant from Kaiser Permanente to go around and give information, answer questions, give presentations to local communities about this law and help them be in compliance. Her name is Kim Turner, and so she will be giving a presentation at our June meeting. And I will be inviting our user groups and everybody to hear the information all at once. So it's a very important thing that we need to work on, for sure. We're at about 10% for girls.
And maybe now's not the time for a question. You may not know the answer anyway, but I know that the school district owns some fields and we own fields. Do those all come into play, or is it just the city fields is all we're worried about, or all we have any access?
It's our fields and who uses our fields. Where we're, I think, running into a problem is where we used to rent to girls softball, Little League, and it was fairly divided. The high school went through a Title IX situation, and we tried to assist by helping them and giving the girls softball varsity program, got the baseball field, and baseball moved to our field. And now that organization rents directly from the school district, so it's not one of our programs. It's not on our
That was what
field.
I was asking about, because I know that things are kind of okay right now. So
Yes, that which was great that happened.
It all worked out.
But it affected us with this other
Understood.
situation.
That was what my question was.
And so just so you know, on our side, we're going to start doing surveys to all girls that participate in any of our programs, asking them if there's sports or leagues or things that they're interested in, if they would like to play but don't have an opportunity locally, to try to figure out other ways that we can offer either our own sports programs that are geared towards girls, or find, it may be offering more field space to Albany Berkeley girls softball or their travel programs or something. So.
And is there an age? I mean, like, is it girls under 18, or is it at the adult sports leagues?
No,
It's just under?
Yeah, just girls.
Minor group, okay. Sure.
Yes. So she's great, and I think you'll enjoy
Yeah.
the presentation. And so if you think of questions between now and June, definitely write this down. That's what she's going to be here for. It's more of a workshop, her part of it. The other big thing is more trees. This is, I don't know, since John started, we've had a lot of tree removals, so. And he came from San Francisco where they never took out a tree, so I think he might be in shock. This is a different program. This one is not initiated by the city of Albany. It's actually PG&E, and this is a program they've been going with communities. It's called their Community Pipeline Safety Initiative. They're going through, when we're one of their big pipelines that runs through a city, to make sure there aren't any trees that are directly on top of that pipeline. The pipeline in Albany runs down Jackson Street and into Adams, 600 block of Adams. So they've done a whole analysis and worked with John and the city to identify trees. The good news, there isn't any street trees that are directly on top of the pipeline. They're just close. And so they've done a survey of those neighbors and the trees, and to review them, they decided that 8 of the trees should be removed. PG&E will go through the whole process of notifying the neighbors and posting the trees and paying for the removals and everything.
And these are in the park strip trees? They're
Street trees, yes.
street trees.
Private trees, they work directly with the homeowner if there
Okay.
are any. So there are 8 trees that will come through the next program, and there will be a representative, I'm assuming, from PG&E if you have questions further about the program.
What's the distance you have to be from a project if you need to excuse yourself from that item?
Yeah, let me confirm, because you're on, are you on Adams?
I'm on Madison.
Madison, okay. Yeah, it's, the trees that are coming out are the 800 and 900 blocks of Jackson and 600 of Adams. And I will, when you get the packet, you'll see the exact addresses, and I'll confirm with the city clerk on the exact number.
Is it 500 feet, do you think? Is that what it
I
is?
don't think it's that,
I think it's 150.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather look it up and I can let you all know.
I know that the one that I recused myself from, I probably didn't need to, but it was like a half a block away, you know, so,
Yeah, let's confirm, just to
yeah.
be safe.
Yeah.
Those are my two big things.
Okay, those are big things. Anybody else have some?
Oh, and we may have RDG, 65% plans.
Right, okay, big meeting in June, got it. Anybody else want to pile anything else on that? No, it could be for another meeting too, no. All right, yes,
I just, little update going back to the Albany Greenway. I've noticed there's a lot of mulch that's been spread out.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of overtaking the running path.
Is it right? Is it?
A little bit.
Oh, this mulching project is our contractors who maintain the Albany Greenway, and they would like to mulch that strip that is our city-owned in order to reduce the number of weeds and the mowing that they have to do. So they've started this mulching party in all the blocks, and it's caused an issue in a number of ways. They're on hold right now because they've put mulch over all our little seeds, and even though we've warned them and asked them not to, and so if there's a section, I can let them know, because right now they have not been able to. Gail put them on a hold until he's back in town. So if mulch is on the running thing right now, then.
Yeah, I've only noticed it on one block. I think it's Solano to the north, I'm not positive.
Okay.
And it's the only section where they've done a very good portion of it, and it's
Okay,
100
yeah.
or 200 feet, but it is taking over about half of the running path.
In the run section, okay. I'll let them know.
now, wasn't that what Transition Albany wanted to demonstrate? Weren't they looking for a demonstration place to show this sort of weed control with mulch?
They want to do sheet mulching.
Sheet
So I think there would have been cardboard involved with sheet mulching, and then to
Right.
use it as a demonstration
That's not
spot.
what they're doing? That's not,
No, this
they're just dumping mulch in?
they're mulching it.
Well, maybe we should contact Transition Albany, and they might like to
Come
do
out, yes.
part of this. That would be
It
good.
was actually I can't remember the name of the group, but they were working with
Transition Albany, it was
Bay Friendly Landscaping.
Yeah.
But what we've asked RDG is to indicate a few areas of where we have like crazy grass areas under the BART tracks to use as a demonstration place for that group. So we're not going to necessarily have any activities planned. We're going to say this is an area that you can sheet mulch, and then when the process gets through, you could do the Bay Friendly plantings or drought tolerant planting.
Very good. All right, anything else? Seeing nothing, we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.